Good evening, and welcome to ChicagoLand Speedway, where tonight the Half-Decent Racing League takes on one of the smoothest and fastest intermediate ovals in stock car racing. At a mile and a half, ChicagoLand is a track built on momentum, confidence, and patience. The sweeping corners reward drivers who can keep the car balanced, carry speed through the center, and stay disciplined over a long run. It may look straightforward on paper, but this is a place where one small mistake can cost big chunks of time in a hurry. For this field, for one this tight, the challenge will be putting together the complete laps, managing the changing grooves, and knowing when to attack and when to wait for the run to come at them. At a track like ChicagoLand, rhythm matters, tire management matters, and racecraft can make all the difference. The lights are on, the field is set, and Half-Decent Racing League is ready to put on a show at ChicagoLand Speedway. Let's go racing, folks! Thank you very much for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag. Standing in for your fearless leader is going to be Sagar Bakshi, standing in just for a brief moment for the Half-Decent Racing League, and a couple pirouettes there for the 83 Benedict Ringer, finishing out the session as we take a quick look at the grid in just a moment. Go get 'em, BRR boys. Cheers on John Fudge. Take a look at our starting grid. It'll be Dickerson and Colton Gardner on the first row. On the second row, it's going to be Brendan McHugh and Benedict Ringer. Row number 4, Aiden O'Neill and Jesse Singleton. Then Shane Williams and Cliff Adams. Further back, it'll be Conan Fuge and Wesley Fuge. Todd Rush Jr. and Zachary Steele alongside each other. The 11th and 12th, 13th, 14th for Corey Benoit and Bowling, Charlie Bowling, Justin Kruger, and Mark Oyser rounding out the field. And I'm going to pronounce it few like Hugh, but with an F going forward. Barney the Flagman standing on his feet in anticipation of the green flag run. Look at these paint schemes. Huge with an F. Fuge. Thank you very much, Broken Spork. Thank you very much, guys, for the pronunciation. Really helps me out a ton. Here we go. Warming up the tires behind the pace car. Dickerson, Gardner line that first row. Get us started here. 41 bobbing and weaving for the Vortex Motorsports. It'll be Matt Dickerson on the low groove. Colin Gardner for Blue Ridge Racing on the high side. It's going to be a quick, fast, and furious one here at Chicagoland, folks. This 1.5-mile oval is going to give us a run for our money. Green flag is in the air. Barney's waving it high and proud. Let's go. Green, 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 folks. Green flag running right now. Dickerson pulls out all the stops in the 44, gets ahead of the 41. 32 of Brandon McHugh. Finding some daylight there. Could have the potential run going forward. Look at that Blue Angels paint scheme. That's a good looking one. Of course, being a military man, I'm a fan favorite, of course. Nearly 3 abreast. There goes the 85. Oh no, a little helter-skelter moment there, but who's going to be able to pick up the pieces? Wesley Hugh with an amazing save, the number 58 with a great catch there. The chase is on for the lead. Cheers for McHugh. Running down in P5 right now. He's under threat from behind. The 83 of Ringer trying to charge through the field. Gonna do so with style and grace. Down on the apron, he makes the pass on the Bluebird. That will be a through and through move. Colton Gardner now in the lead of the race alongside Dickerson no longer as he pulls away himself. Shane Williams finds the new fast lap of the event, but Shane is all the way back down in P10. Falling down the order is going to be the 44. Succumb to the attacks of the 51 up ahead. Some more argy-bargy racing in the backfield here. I managed to keep it green and clean side by side between the 29 here and Aiden O'Neill, driver of the 87 Blue Angels machine. You never tell if there's a fan favorite amongst the drivers or car manufacturer choices. There's only 2 Toyotas and a handful of Fords. '83, 55, and the 87 here. And the 55 goes up into the barrier, allowing the 83 to get on through. Can he get the job done in time before the stripe? The 83 does. For the 55 and the 87. Up ahead to Shane Williams, the Ohio Sim Syndicate. Running in front of Justin Kruger, the 29, Timu Joe Gibbs. Back here, the 88 and the 55, Todd Rush Jr. from CZ Motorsports. Going wheel to wheel themselves. 83 almost goes up into the barrier themselves. Todd Rush Jr. had no part in that. The 83 loses no speed whatsoever as they continue to charge up. Brennan McHugh for Vortex Motorsports behind Dickerson, a fellow Vortex driver. Now Shane Williams wants to separate the dynamic duo. And there's that ever-changing groove. You see how much the 25 can work the high side and still keep up the speed. Versus what Kruger is doing in the 29 behind. Benedict Ringer alongside Zachary Steele, the 88. And here comes a move from the 83. On that 88 to the inside, out of turn 3. Down across the apron. Try to gain as much momentum and shorten up the track as much as possible. Is Ringer. Alongside the 88, door to door. Coming into 3. Now exit. We'll head out to 4. Aiden O'Neill and Mark Oyser here, the 17 and the 87. Going wheel to wheel. Aiden O'Neill, mark him down for 7 positions lost so far. But I have a feeling like he's got something sneaky up his sleeve as far as fuel conservation, tire strategy, something up his sleeve trying to make this work to the end. Aiden O'Neill is my pick right now. Primarily because of his paint scheme, but also I think he might have something cooking tonight. The 55, Todd Rush Jr. And Mark Olson, the 17, Liquid Death versus Fastenal. Not sure how those two come together on the racetrack. Definitely don't mix inside a Liquid Death bottle. 25 leads the 44, the 32, then the 83 here. Again, those alternate lines being consumed by the driver. It definitely looks like that high side is the one that's carrying a ton of speed and momentum. Up ahead to Colton Gardner. He's pulled out an 8/10 gap on Cliff Adams, who's ahead of Jesse Singleton by just a narrow margin, around 2/10, 3/10 of a second. Battles live back here in the mid-pack between Brendan McHugh, Zachary Steele, Dickerson, Ringer, and the likes of Shane Williams and Singleton. Here we go. I think the 87 has the momentum now, tries to use some of it on Todd Rush Jr. up ahead. Dickerson leads Steele, but for how long now? Dickerson in the 44 was in a prime position up at the front, the tip of the spear, the sharp of the knife. Unfortunately, he falls down to P7. Trying to cover some of those positions, but then again, he's sticking to that low line. He's not changing it up, so I wonder if he is also on a conservation strategy. O'Neill continues to battle with the cars around him as the sun sets here in ChicagoLand. Despite its name, the track that opened in 2001 is not located in Chicago. It's actually located in Joliet, Illinois. Zachary Steele here and Brandon McHugh. Brandon McHugh loses one to the Krispy Kreme machine. Up ahead, the 88. Then the 32. And then the 44 across the stripe. Up ahead, the battle for the lead has come down by a healthy margin. Still sitting around 0.8 of a second, but Singleton all over the back of Cliff Adams now in the battle for P2. Colton Gardner might be able to run away with it for now, but will the other drivers be able to catch up sooner rather than later? Here goes the 25 to the inside on the 51. A quick little slide to the high groove there. And the 51's done and dusted. Williams gets the move on Singleton. A little bit of a touch there between the 55 and the 87 of Aiden O'Neill. Todd Rush Jr. expressing a lot of discipline here. Oh, Aiden O'Neill tumbles down behind Mark Oyser. 17. I have a feeling like Aiden O'Neill is just playing with his food currently. Colton Gardner, Cliff Adams, separated by a second now as Adams has to defend. Singleton back. That Toyota trying to be the first and foremost runner on the grid tonight. First, he's got to get through Cliff Adams to chase down Colton Gardner and the Blue Ridge Racing team. Thank you, Pyroman 815. Really appreciate that info. With Adams still battling with Singleton, who's up into the wall. And that'll be Williams through. And there'll also be Benedict Ringer. Teamy Joe Gibbs to also take advantage of the wounded bird. He does take advantage of the wounded situation, not one, but two positions, and wow, that was close. Up into the barrier, nearly the 83 collects his car behind the 25. O'Neal alongside the 55. Continuing to put on his hustle tonight. Aiden O'Neal chases down the cars ahead, but has a little bit of a clatter with the barrier, and that's going to be our first caution of the evening, folks. Or will it, as both cars are down the apron? And with 9 to go left in the stage, we keep it green. Holy smokes, what a save by the drivers. Can't believe that save. That was phenomenal. Everybody involved in that one made out with their lives somehow. Third place goes Dickerson's way. The 44 back up into where he belongs and into the top three. Sure, that's his opinion as well. Making moves on the 80. 7 to go left in the stage. It's going to be a flat-out battle. Now with 6 to go, 3 wide, the 83 chucks it in. Gonna get the draft from the cars ahead, or is he gonna touch the 80? He's gonna touch 4 abreast now across the stripe. Colton Gardner is clear of this debacle. Wants nothing to do with it by 2 seconds. Leaving the 25 and the 80 to pick up the pieces. Shane Williams and Cliff Adams here. Big push from the 83 into the 80. Four to go as the leaders crosses the line. And the elbows are gonna be thrown. The gloves are gonna come off. There's a little bit of a mess behind. Three wide, the 83, the 32, and the 51. All abreast right now. Just 3 laps left to go in the stage. '25, the 80, and the 51 all squabble for positions themselves. Clef Adams challenging for third now with Shane Williams. 2 to go. '25 pushes as hard as he can to stay on the racing surface. Up to the barriers he goes. 32 boxes in that 25. Get boxed in by the 80 as well. No, not quite, but way downtown. There's the 83, Benedict Ringer. Timu Joe Gibbs finding a little bit of daylight in between 2 closing cars. One lap left to go. I think it's going to go Colton Gardner's way, barring any major catastrophes. Caution's called as Colton Gardner grabs the stage win. And we're going to let the pace car pick up the leaders. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere as we take a quick pit stop party. So the pit lane was about to come alive, and it is. Everybody, literally everybody comes down pit lane as everybody was on the lead lap. For and fuel. Foreign fuel for the entire field. And we're back behind the pace car here. Getting ready to take the restart in just a few moments' time. Now, who's going to come out on top for the second stage when Colton Garner took the first? Drivers getting squared up 2 by 2. And get ready to take the race start here one more time. It was a great green flag run that we had. A couple black flags being handed out, instantly cleared by race control. And instantly we have a caution come out. And what happened there? Mark Oyser apparently crashing on the race restart here. Ooh, getting up into the wall and coming across 2 cars. Oh, no. So, first real caution of the race, due to incidents at least. Leaves us in a healthy spot for the race still. Plenty of green flag running left to go. In comes Mark Oyser and Wesley Few. Fuge, excuse me. Bulldog Coffee Company and me saying the 44 of Matt Dickerson is going to get the win tonight. That could potentially be on my bingo card this evening. Right now, the lights are still on behind the pace car. So we won't get squared up 2 by 2 Noah's Ark formation just yet. Drivers cutting through the field tonight. Let's take a look at the positives and the negatives on the evening. Kruger in the 29, up 9 positions. Could be our hard charger this evening if things keep going that way. Here we go. The pace car ready to pull in. Green flag in the air. And we go racing again at ChicagoLand. Pass for the lead. Colton Garner and Dickerson going after it. Following close behind is going to be Brendan McHugh, number 32. Definitely wanting a piece of the pie tonight. Cliff Adams in P4 right now for the number 80. Shane Williams, the Ohio Sim Syndicate car. Whoa, there's a big drive from the number 83, Benedict Ringer and Timu Joe Gibbs, working with his teammate of Justin Kruger to chop through the field. The real Biddy, what's going on, brother? What's going on, man? Welcome in, welcome in. Filling in for Chris tonight. Glad you're here, Biddy. Pleasure to see you as always. Trying to get a good look at what's going on through the field. There's so much action right now. Everybody's going too wide all the way from up to P5 down back through the field, through 3 and 4, and even 3 wide as the 32, the 29, and the 51, Singleton, Williams, and McHugh all come together. Cliff Adams and the Vortex Motorsports organization has the affordability of working with his teammate who's right behind him in that 44 of Dickerson. Awesome doom scrolling through YouTube tonight and came across this broadcast. What a funny thing. You got the first number right. Got the first number right. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. 32-29. Up into the barriers. Here comes the charge from the 83. Does a great job of checking up. Ringer saw the writing on the wall and didn't want to cause a collision there. He'll get the overdrive down on the apron, though, and this might be what matters more at the end of the day. Beautiful sunset here in Illinois. Bowling, Kruger, Steele. What about Dickerson, Williams as well? Look, and you can see the distinctive grooves here in the track for the drivers to use up. There's obviously the changing grooves, or the changing momentum there. See, the 44 is working the middle down to the low side. Whoa, big one into the wall. Is that Charlie Bowling? That is Charlie Bowling, the number 5. And that'll be a coming together with the 32 and the 17. And that'll be a quick caution called. We're going to go to another quick caution here on lap 59 of 165 as we try to make it out to lap 80 for the end of the second stage. Then we'll have an 85 lap run to the checkered after that. Pit stop fakie there. 25, 29, and the 8-3 are in. And will it be 4 in fuel? Looks like Williams is going up on the jacks for at least 2. That will be 4 in fuel for Williams, Ringer, and a few others. Getting ready for the race restart again. Colton Gardner. You start thinking about turning the lights on here. The pace car has. As darkness begins to fall here in Illinois. Here we go. Gardner, Adams, Singleton, Dickerson, Aiden O'Neill in the 87. Back up into P5. There we go. Back into the restart. Green flag in the air. Let's go racing. Oh, Bully Dog got the first number of tonight's winner right. John Few. John says it's going to be the 41, not the 44 tonight to get the win. Well, here we go. Who's going to come out on top? The 41 and the 44 alongside each other. But let's keep an eye on Aiden O'Neill in the backfield right now because they're getting swamped up by some three wide action. Battle for the lead, Dickerson and Gardner. On the here and now, side by side between the 41 and the 44. Down to the inside goes the 44 with a leap of faith between himself and his compatriot, the 41. Can they make this one work? Yes, they can, and they will. Down the apron goes the 44. Chasing is the 83 of Benedict Ringer. Ringer finds the middle to be successful, and Ringer is going to slingshot himself into the lead of the race. The 29 has some momentum there as well. Can he challenge Ringer for the lead? Riding on board right now with Gardner. Gardner's led us for 60 laps of the 66 that we have run up to this point. Really running him fourth. I feel like Gardner knows what he has to do to come out with another stage victory tonight. Here comes Colton Gardner. This time on Dickerson. It's the other way around. That's very true, John. John, come join me in the broadcast booth for crying out loud. I love guys that can pull out analytics like that. Come hang out with me, John. Colton Gardner chases down Matt Dickerson. And then their battle for P4 and P5. 12 to go in the stage. Whoa, up into the wall goes the 87 of O'Neill. And O'Neill tries to find a position or two. Leaders right now, Kruger and Ringer here running into traffic. '83 and the 29. Kruger and Ringer. Here it comes. 8-3 on the 29. No doing on that occasion. Falls back in. Single file line. Can the 25 of Shane Williams do anything about the blinky of the 83? and the 25 squeezes in and pushes out the 83 back. Here comes Timu Joe Gibbs. Benedict Ringer in the 83, still working with Kruger, his teammate, up ahead. It's all on his own for Shane Williams, the Ohio Sim Syndicate, number 25. The 25 into the wall. Here's the 5 of Charlie Bowling, and this might be an awkward position for the drivers on the lead lap. There goes Ringer into the lead. Shane Williams and Kruger left to deal with Bowling. John in chat saying, looks like Dickerson and Gardner are trying to tire save. Those four tear each other up. It seems to be the case. Here's Gardner and Dickerson. 5 to go left in the stage. This is for all the marbles, folks. Werner, Williams, Kruger, Gardner, Dickerson. Back here. Zachary Steele, Aiden O'Neill, the 55 of Todd Rush. Attacked by the 17 of Mark Oyser. Aiden O'Neill and Todd Rush Jr., the 55. Let's not separate Colton Gardner and Matt Dickerson anytime soon, shall we? Every time they get separated by a little bit more than a few tenths, they slingshot themselves back together again. One to go left in the stage. Did the leaders pit for new tires on that caution? They did. Yes, Ringer and Williams both have 2 pits to their names, coming in on lap 59. Right when that caution got thrown. Same with Justin Kruger, who's now into 3rd, but Benedict Ringer becomes the victor of stage 2. Benedict Ringer took the victory here for stage 2. And now we have a long stint to the end. 84 laps of running. Be here for another hour, folks. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Quick pit stop there for the entire field. Charlie Bowling and Connor Fuge stay out. It's only our 4th caution. 2 of them have been due to stage breaks, so it's been fairly green, to say the least, here for the Half Decent Racing League. Some would even say it's half decent. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week, folks. I'll be here all week. Unfortunately, the week is about to end. Matthew Wobbs cheering on Timu Joe Gibbs. Here we go. Let's get ready to battle as we go green, green, green. Ringer, Dickerson, Williams. Now everybody's on equal footing. It's going to be flat out here. 81 laps left to go. '29 up into the barrier. As Justin Kruger battle for the lead. 83 in the 25. Ringer and Williams. Here comes the 44 and the 80, but getting boxed in is the 44 behind the 83. Ringer doing a good job putting the block on the momentum run. Down to the apron. Everybody goes wheel to wheel now. Between the 83, the 80, and the 44. And the 29 and the 47 come together. And a bit of heebie-jeebies there. And there goes the 87 of Aiden O'Neill. Up at the front, it's Williams leading Dickerson, and then Benedict Ringer in third. Second gap separates the top 10 right now. O'Neill finds a few positions and gains one on his net tonight. Up to P4. Dickerson trying to get the move done on Shane Williams so he can try to gap the cars behind. Here we go. More wheel-to-wheel racing. This time it'll be Aiden O'Neill and Colton Gardner. Gardner in the 41 finds the low line and runs away with it. John pointing out it's the first time Colton has been in traffic all night long. And it looks like his car really doesn't like the dirty air. He is going to have to adjust his line. Good point. Look at this battle pack of cars. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Shane Williams, Dickerson, and Adams. $73 laps remaining. Up ahead, Dickerson's trying to go for the move now. He's going to make that one stick, but look who's behind him. Shane Williams ready to pounce yet again. Whoa! Big moment into the concrete. Hopefully that's not suspension damage there for the 25 of Shane Williams. Timu Joe Gibbs, the 83, up into third. 25 might have gotten some suspension damage. Hitting the wall the first time. Definitely has it now after hitting it again. Matt Dickerson and Benedict Ringer are separated by around half a second, leaving Ringer to fight with Cliff Adams and Colton Gardner. Justin Kruger leads this trail. Zachary Steele and Aiden O'Neill. And it starts to get really dark here in Chicagoland. I am curious, what's the weather look like right now? Weather conditions are 84 degrees, track temperature, air temp 81 degrees, humidity at 30%, but the conditions are clear. Two-tenths is not a healthy enough margin for Matt Dickerson. As he's only about a tenth faster. Equally matched on that last lap. And Zachary Steele, who has not Aiden O'Neill battled with tonight. I feel like Aiden O'Neill has got the gloves off with every single driver on the grid this evening. "64 laps left to go. And the battles are still alive and well." Dickerson trying to pull out a gap. Only 1/10 right now between himself and Ringer. Here comes the charge from Ringer. I can feel it in my bones. Ringer wants that position from Matt Dickerson. Dickerson, Ringer, separated by just about nothing right now. Ooh, interesting. Cliff Adams from Vortex Motorsports decides to come in. Whoa, another big kiss to the wall. Zachary Steele getting involved with the barrier, the 88. That's Kruger, Timu, Joe Gibbs Racing. Now, this is interesting. Dickerson comes in for Vortex Motorsports. He's all by himself. Where does he come out at the end of the day? And does this leave him a little bit victim to a potential overcut? Charging bull, that is Justin Kruger, is up 8 positions and he's not done yet. Aiden O'Neill up the road and locked in his crosshairs. He's gonna go down to the apron, try to get this one done. No doing yet. So where did Dickerson end up? Dickerson ends up around 6/10 behind Cliff Adams in the 80. Cliff came in 2 laps prior to Dickerson. Was able to gain a whole heap of time. Here comes Cliff Adams through to get a couple of cars down his lap. Wesley Feud potentially being a hard charger, but I still got my eye on Kruger and Zach Steele, both up 8 positions on their game. Dickerson and Adams here. 44 in the 80, the provisional lead battle. Now the duo here all alone shouldn't want to battle each other too hard. They need to be able to work together to try to maximize the run on the fresh tires. Wesley under attack from Aiden O'Neill. One of the hard chargers in the field. Here comes Aiden. And both of them did come in on lap 81. Pit stop for Shane Williams, the Ohio Sim Syndicate. Oh, wow. That cycled him down behind Brendan McHugh. Trying to do a little bit of commentators math really quickly. Oh, yeah. They're about 2 seconds a lap faster. Holy smokes. Dickerson and Adams both in the 31s versus the field's 33 pace. Charlie Bowling getting checked up a little bit by the 87 of Aiden O'Neill. Aiden O'Neill. Oh my goodness. In the 58 of Wesley goes up into the barriers there. Now under threat all around. The 87 of Aiden O'Neill and Kruger, the 29, trying to get something done. Gardner into the pits. Where does it cycle him in comparison to Dickerson? That might be a pit stop there for the 58. Yes, it is a pit stop for the 58 under the green flag conditions for most of the field still. Here comes the 41 up onto the apron himself. Gets a little squirrely on that rejoin. Gardner tumbles down all the way to P11, but will have fresher rubber towards the end of this stint with 44 to go. Zachary Steele comes in now, leaving just the top four who have yet to make those pit stops. Fleet of pit stops. Ringer, Kruger into the pits. That leaves everybody pretty much on their own islands now. Everybody pretty much separated by seconds at this point. Aiden O'Neill now, the leader of this event, who hasn't taken a pit stop, leaving Dickerson provisionally in the lead. .37 laps remaining in this race. Let's switch over to Steele and McHugh. Brandon McHugh and Zachary Steele now. Separated by under half a second. Shane Williams, Colton Gardner, and their own tussle. There goes Dickerson into the pits. Question mark? Not a black flag. See what the strategy ends up being. Will be tires. Brandon McHugh behind Wesley here. About a second separating them. Cliff Adams for the win, says the real Biddy, with 33 laps left to go. Four nearly seconds between Gardner and Adams. Ringer, though, ready to challenge. 83 and the 41. 41 laps remaining. Brandon McHugh chases down Charlie Bowling, separated by 3/4 of a second. Looking for the battle at the lead, though. Ringer does a great job of closing it down on Cliff Adams. '44 of Colton Gardner getting dragged into this one. And there you can see Cliff Adams. This is the battle for the lead, folks. 44 and the 83 now duke it out for the lead with 28 laps remaining. And that will be it for Benedict Ringer. I'm more curious about what Colton Gardner can do now, the 41. Now, I'm also still curious as the 41 goes for the move on that 80. I must say, what is going on with the 44? The 44 came in. Todd Rush comes down into the pits. The 44 of Dickerson came in on lap 130. And I'll assume that he's got fuel and tires to make it to the checkered flag now. Three-second gap between Ringer and Gardner. The gap between Steele and Shane Williams evaporates to just about nothing. Zachary Steele, Shane Williams still glued to each other with 20 laps left to go as we cross the checkered line. Barney beams with anticipation for the checkered flag to drop. John with a quick update. Dickerson pitted too soon, had to top off to make it to the end. Gardner's trying to stretch it and only do the one stop. That makes sense to me. I believe Ringer will have to pit again. He came in on lap 125. Fuel's going to be tight. Zachary Steele in the 88, up 8 positions tonight. Definitely a contender for one of the hard chargers on the evening. Taking a look at the last lap times. And the pit lap time. So Cliff Adams came in on lap 106. He definitely needs to come in. Shane Williams, 115. He needs to come in. Drivers that came in on lap 125, however, could potentially stay out. Because genuinely, I would have expected them to come in now at around the 40 lap mark. And no, we didn't get a single caution in this third stage to break anything up. I was trying to come up with a reason, a rationale. But nothing seems to make sense. Some drivers are just able to stretch this fuel stop that much longer. What about Charlie Bowling, a driver who's at a quiet race for CZ Motorsports? Up 7 positions currently, as Wesley in his crosshairs in 6th place. Here we go. Final 10 laps. Wesley might lose P5 at the end of the night because Charlie Bowling is all over him like hot fudge. Bowling all over Feud. Six laps remaining. Can Few bring it home? Bowling pushes hard, touches the Armco barrier here. That might thwart his run. What about Benedict Ringer and T. Joe Gibbs Racing? Running currently the number 83 to victory lane with 5 left to go. Last lap by was a 32.8. Last lap by for Colton Gardner, 33.00. Three laps remaining. Benedict Ringer could be drinking a big glass of champagne tonight. '83 and O'Neill come together. White flag in the air. Benedict Ringer is going to take the victory here tonight. What an amazing drive from Ringer. Ringer's going to bring this one home to victory lane. After 3 positions gained on the evening, it's going to be a hard-fought charge for the 83 of Ringer. Benedict Ringer takes the victory. Congratulations to Benedict Ringer. Enjoy your celebrations and burn it down, my friend. We'll have Ringer, Gardner, and Steele come into the broadcast booth here in just a few moments. Go ahead and talk to you. Colton Garner from Blue Ridge Racing. He's ready to go with us here in the DRSN broadcast booth. Colton, how are you feeling on this very, very hot evening in Chicagoland?
I feel pretty all right. It was nice to be back on an oval this week. I'll tell you that much.
It looked like a great battle all race long, and the fact that we only had 4 cautions tonight, 2 of those being coming out from the competition cautions or the stage breaks there, just phenomenal. And the saves that came out from the field were phenomenal. Talk us through some of your scariest moments of the race.
Probably the scariest one was in stage 2 whenever strategy got flipped with everybody with a handful of cars coming down pit road and being able to jump everybody on that, get track position, which is what changed the complexion of it for a few of them. Just that the racing after those pit stops was amazing. It was a lot of fun and goes to show how far this league is actually how far it's come lately, and it's been a lot of fun to race in.
Absolutely. Looks like a more than half decent racing league to begin with. And now that you guys have got some experience underneath you, looks like you guys are going to continue to grow your roster. Now, Colton, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank French Broadfire and Rescue for being my main sponsor and supporter. I want to thank Jiffy Lube, everybody that helps put some backing behind what I do and believe in me. And thanks to Outlier Speed as well. They're a recently acquired sponsor of ours. And I'd like to thank all the Blue Ridge Racing guys for being there. And uh, shout out to Wesley. He had that call there to be able to put us in position to be on the um, podium here tonight. Had to ran it long than a few of the others did, which was pretty beneficial. Shout out to Jacob Barker. He's not here tonight, but tried to go out there and get him one while he was out there on vacation. And shout out to all Smoky Mountain Racing and everybody that helps us do what we do.
Right on, sir. Thank you very much, Colton Garner. Have a great night, brother. And as always, stay safe out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and grab Benedict Ringer for Timu Joe Gibbs Racing. He came home with the win tonight. How does it feel to be on the top step of the podium for the number 83?
Amazing. It feels damn. I did not expect to win this race today. I bought the track about 30 minutes before the race started, so just did some practice laps and did the right strategy for them and just kept it clean,
Yeah, no, absolutely. finding the right groove being the important feat here at Chicagoland. Where did you find the traction, or where did you find the grip most available to you throughout this running? You know, educate me as the other side of the racetrack.
Yeah, well, basically I just tried to run the bottom to save tires that last run. And if I was, ever behind somebody, just try to run the clean air. The top was pretty good at the start. Like everywhere was pretty good, and then I think it turned to night, and the top kind of went away, to be honest, and it was just bottom or middle was where I was running. So basically, just try to hit the bottom, or do like a little enter on the middle, exit on the bottom, do a little diamond there, and just try to hit my marks. And yeah, especially I didn't really want to do the top anymore because you get in the wall and you lose a lot of time. So I was just trying to be conservative there once I had that lead.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people lose heaps of time by pushing a little too hard and going up into the barriers. You know, it's one thing to manage the pace and the consistency. It's another thing to deliver it. How do you say that you deliver, consistent laps to drive home to victory lane?
I just try to not drive it too hard at the start and just be consistent, hit my marks. I mean, that was really about it. I think just everyone kind of burnt their stuff up, and I was just running at a consistent pace. I also pitted later than everyone else, so I still had those tires, and was actually way easier than I thought. I went through the past Colton there, and then I don't know what Matt and Cliff were doing there, but luckily they did that strategy, so it made it a lot easier for me.
Right on. Ringer, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank here in victory lane?
Like to thank my team owner, Kyle. He gave me the car to win here tonight. Hobbs on the box tonight gave me the right strategy, and Justin, my driving coach, helped me out there. Unfortunately, he sped, but on pit road that last sequence. But I think we did pretty good. It was an all-around team effort, and is really good to get Team of Joe Gibbs their first win of the NASCAR win of the season. So really happy.
Right on, Ringer. Thank you so much for bringing it home and supporting us here at the Half Decent Racing League. Have a great night, and as always, stay safe out there.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Well, that's going to wrap things up for us here, folks. On behalf of the Digital Racing Sports Network, on behalf of Half Decent Racing League, I've been your host, Sagar Bakshi, taking you from green to checker flag. It's been an absolute pleasure to do so, but all good things have to come to an end, and so shall this. Have a great night, everybody, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Goodbye for now.